Hello everyone, welcome back to the session of English. In this session of English grammar, we are going to begin a new topic, that is subject-verb agreement. This topic is very important and interesting. And from this topic, we can find or we may find many questions in our exam. This topic is very important from the point of view of your exam, as well as if you want to improve your English communication, this topic is really very beneficial to all of you. Okay, so this topic is very important, and this topic is very simple and easy, though there are a little complications or little confusions that may occur in our mind, but I am here to make you get rid of all those complications or confusions. Okay, so let's begin this session. This topic is going to be very important, and this session is going to be very beneficial for all of you. So let's begin this session. So here we are going to begin subject-verb agreement. Now, first of all, let us see what we are going to discuss in this session. Well, in this session, we'll see the introduction of this chapter. Okay, so what is subject-verb agreement? Why it is used in our communication and English? So this, the introduction of the entire chapter we are going to face first of all. After that, we'll see the singular subject rules. Now, there is a simple concept that if we talk about our sentence structure, that is subject plus verb plus object. In that particular structure, we first have the subject and after that we have verb. Now this verb always, it should agree with the subject. Okay. Suppose the subject is singular, the verb should be singular. The subject is plural, the verb should be plural, and always the verb depends on the subject. Okay. So here we'll see several rules which we should learn about subject-verb agreement, or which will help us out to prove the verb agree or to make the verb agree with the subject. So here we have the singular subject rules, then we have the plural subject rules, then we have compound subject rules, then we have collective noun rules, indefinite pronoun rules, title rules, rules of expressions of quantities or quantity. Well, it is not quantities. This is incorrect over here. Let us remove this. Then subjects connected rule and rules of many, rules of more than, rules of conjugation to be, types of questions. So all these questions, all these contents we are going to discuss in this session. Okay, so let's begin the session. Now here we have the introduction of subject-verb agreement. Subject-verb agreement ensures proper agreement between the subject, that is the noun or pronoun. Now we know well that the subject is either made of noun or pronoun. The gerund can also make the subject of the sentence. Infinitive can also make the subject of the sentence, and there are many, but ultimately they are the part of nouns. Okay, or they are the forms of nouns. And the verb. Okay, so here we should agree the subject with the verb. This is the main criteria of subject-verb agreement, or a sentence, that in a sentence the subject should agree with the verb, or you can say the verb should agree with the subject. In fact, verb should agree with the subject, not the subject with the verb. Okay, so verb depends on the subject. Whichever type the subject is, the verb should agree with it. And the verb is the action word. Okay, the action word, or if we talk about the positions or the word which expresses the state of being of a person or anything, that is also known as verb, which we have discussed in our last sessions or earlier sessions in a sentence. Singular subject should be paired with a singular verb, and plural subject should be paired with a plural verb. Okay, now here you can see when we have the singular subject, we have singular verb with it, and when we have plural subject, we have plural verb with it. Also, if we talk about a verb, how do we make it singular? What we do, we just add s or es to it, which makes it singular verb. Okay, whenever we have the base form of verb, we add s or es with it, which makes it singular. Okay, however, if we talk about the verb base form, that is the first form, it is always singular. Okay, we find base form of verb is always singular. Okay, now let us see some examples. The cat is sleeping. Now, if we talk about the cat is singular, and here we are using the word is. is the singular form of verb, which is used with the cat, which is again singular. Okay. Now, but when I write the cats, so cats are plural of cat. It means there must be more than one cat. So we are writing are. The cats are sleeping. Okay. The group of student. Now, if we talk about group, what is group? Group is the collection of everything in one. Okay. So group is the entire group, but that group stands for one. That is singular. That is why group is always considered singular. The group of students is studying diligently. But if I write the students are plural, then we will write the students are studying diligently. The students along with the teacher are participating. Now here we are talking about the students which are plural. That is why we have used the word are. Okay, so these are the several examples of subject-verb agreement. Okay, in which we know that the subject and the verb, they should agree with each other. The verb should depend on the subject of the sentence. If the subject is singular, the verb should be singular. If the subject is plural, the verb will be plural. Now, maybe there are many rules of these subject-verb agreement sentences, but we should keep one thing in mind, that we have to identify the subject first. If we are able to recognize the subject of the sentence and we are able to recognize whether it is singular or plural, then it will be very, very easy for all of us to put the verb over there, because we know when the subject is singular, the verb should be singular. When the subject is plural, the verb should be plural. So we should keep one thing in mind always, that we have to look for the subject, whether it is singular or plural. To recognize the subject, that is either it is singular or plural, that is very, very important. And the entire structure of the subject, the identification of the subject, we have already discussed in our first or the starting sessions of English grammar. Okay, so here let us proceed now. This is concept number 1, which is the singular subject with singular verb rule. Okay. Now we know well a singular subject requires a singular verb. So whenever we have a singular subject, it should be followed by singular form of verb. Now what is singular subject? Suppose we have singular noun. Okay, singular noun or pronoun. Okay, singular subject means singular noun or pronoun. Now if we talk about gerunds as well, they are also the singular subject. Okay, also gerund is the part of noun. Okay, so when we have singular noun or pronoun, it should be followed by singular form of verb. And how does a verb convert into singular? We know well that whenever we add s or es to a verb, okay, whenever we add s or es to a verb, it makes it singular verb. Okay, for example, if I talk about the dog barks, now the dog is singular. We are talking about one dog. Okay, the plural of dog is dogs. But here we are talking about one dog, that is the dog. Okay, so the dog is singular subject, barks. Now bark is the verb. Okay, and it is actually the sound created or produced by the dog. Okay, so this is the voice of a dog. Now bark is the base verb, but when we want to make it singular, we will add s to it. Okay, thus making it singular verb. So here barks is the singular verb, which is used after the singular subject, that is dog. So the dog barks loudly. Okay. Next, he. Now he is used for a boy, and this is also singular. Now he runs every morning. Okay. So he runs every morning. Run is the base form, and when we add s to it, it will become singular verb. So he runs every morning. The bird chirps loudly. Now the bird is singular bird over here, and chirps is the voice made by the bird. Okay, the bird chirps loudly. The flower blooms in spring. Okay, obviously the flower bloom in spring. So here we have written the flower, which is when we are talking about only one flower, and it blooms in spring. Okay, the student studies diligently. So we are talking about only one student, that he studies diligently. So study is the base verb, and we have made it singular by adding ies. Now somewhere these verbs, they follow the pattern of conversion from plural to singular. And this is similar to the conversion of noun from singular to plural. Now whenever we have a singular noun, we make it plural by adding s, es, ies according to some conditions, which we have already discussed in the chapter of noun. Now, similarly, we convert the verb from plural into singular, but that is opposite to noun, because when we add s or es to a noun, it converts into plural noun. But in case of verb, when we add s or es or ies to a verb, it converts into singular verb. So this is the difference between verb and the noun. Okay. So when we have the singular subject, it should be followed by singular verb always, and verb is singular when we add s or es to the base form of the verb. Okay, I hope this much is clear to you all. Now let us proceed. Now this is another concept, that is plural subject with plural verb rule. Now, as we have discussed that the singular subject requires singular verb, similarly, when the subject is plural, it requires a plural verb. Okay, and the base form of verb is always plural. Okay, so plural subject is plural verb, plural subject plus plural verb. Okay, for example, the birds. Now we are talking about the birds, and bird is singular, whereas birds, when we add s to the bird, it will become birds, and that will be plural. So the birds sing in the morning. They laugh. Now they is plural. Okay, they is a pronoun which is used for plural. So there is a third person plural pronoun. They laugh together every day. The children. Now child is singular, and the plural of child is children. Okay, so children is plural. So the children play in the park. Birds migrate south for the winter. My friends enjoy hiking in the mountains. So these are the plural verb with plural subjects. Okay, now here you can see the plural subject rule, that is plural subject plus plural verb, and the base form of the verb is always plural. And you can see here birds are the plural of bird. They is the plural person, plural third person. For example, if I say he, she, it will be singular. It is singular, but if I say they is plural. Okay. The children, child is singular, whereas children is plural. Birds migrate, so birds are plural over here. And my friends are also plural. Friend is singular, friends are plural. And here friends enjoy hiking in the mountains. Okay, so this is plural subject with plural verb rule. Now let us move to the next one. Here, another concept is compound subjects with and rule. Now, what is compound subject? Compound subject means when we add two subjects together. Okay, when we join two subjects together, this will become the compound subject, and we join these two subjects with the word and. Okay, now let us see. Subject 1 and subject 2 plus plural verb. It means when we add subject 1 and subject 2 with the help of and, so these two subjects are separate. Okay. Now, if I add two things together with the help of and both the persons which we are adding, they both are different from each other. And if they are different, obviously they are more than one. And if they are more than one, they must be two. And two is always plural. So, in case of plural subject, we know well that we have to use plural verb. That is the simple concept. So here subject 1 and subject 2, we will add plural verb with it. Okay, when subjects are joined by and, use a plural verb. For example, Tom and Jerry are friends. Now we know well that Tom and Jerry are two separate entities or two different persons. Okay, so when they are plural, we will add are. John and Mary are going to the store together. Now, John is a different person, Mary is a different person, and when we add together, when we add the names of both together, we can use are because they both are two and they are plural. The cat and the dog play in the yard every afternoon. Pooja and her friends are planning to trip to Europe. The teacher and the students are excited about upcoming field trip. Okay, so this is how we can use plural subjects and plural verbs. So the rule is the same, that when we have plural subject, we will add plural verb. Now, we should see whether the subject is plural or not. Now, if I add two subjects together with the help of and, obviously they will be two. And if they are two, we will use plural verb with it. Now, if you have heard about pair of words, you must have heard about pair of words. If there is a concept of pair of words, we can use singular verb with it. For example, if I say slow and steady wins the race. Okay, slow and steady wins the race. So in this concept here, we are using two persons together, two things together, that is slow and steady. But this is used for one person only. That one person who is slow as well as a steady. Steady means continuously working. Okay, that person wins the race. Now this is actually the moral of the story of the of the hare and the tortoise. You must have heard the story of the rabbit and the tortoise. So this is the same story, or the moral of the same story. That is slow and steady wins the race. Because in that story, the tortoise won just because of its steadiness. Though he was slow, but he was steady. That is why he won the race. And on the other hand, when we talked about the rabbit, it runs very fast, but just because to take rest, because of his overconfidence, he went to sleep. That is why he lost the race. Okay. So when we see the compound subjects, with the end rule again, we can have the singular verb as well, but only in the case of pair of words. For example, we use the lock and key, bread and butter. Okay, so bread and butter, when they are used as pair of words, we have to use singular verb with it. But when they are used as the commodities, we may use plural verb with it. For example, if I say bread and butter is difficult to earn. Now here bread and butter refers to the income of a person. But if I say bread and butter are sold here, so here bread and butter are the two commodities which a shopkeeper sells. Okay, so this is how we can identify whether we have to put the singular verb or the plural verb with it. You should know, you should see the subjects whether they are singular or plural. Okay, now let us move to the next one. Here, another rule is compound subjects with or nor rule. Now again, we have joined compound subjects with and. Now we'll add compound subjects with or nor. How? Let us see. When we have a structure of a sentence in which we have used the pair conjunctions like either, or, neither, nor, not only but also. Now with either or, with either we write subject 1, with or we write subject 2. With neither we add subject 1 and with nor we add subject 2. Not only subject 1 but also subject 2. Okay, so whenever we use either or, neither nor and not only but also, we add subject 1 and subject 2 with them. Okay, according to that we add the verb according to the nearest subject. Now, whenever we have these three conditions, that is either or, neither nor, not only but also, after these words we add subject 1 and subject 2. But here, what is the rule? The rule is actually the verb should depend, or the verb should agree with the second or the nearest subject. Now why I have said nearest subject? Because it can also happen that we may have only one subject in the sentence but two verbs. Okay, so whenever we have either plus subject 1 or plus subject 2, in this case verb should agree with the nearest subject always. Okay, so this verb, it should be agree with the subject 2 over here. Now let us see some examples. Neither the cat nor the dogs like rain. Now in this sentence you can see the neither nor structure. Now neither the cat is the first subject, nor the dogs are the second subject. Okay, but we have used the word like according to the dogs. Now we have used the word like according to the word dogs over here, and dogs are plural. Okay, next one is neither the manager nor the employees were aware of the upcoming changes in the company policy. Now, neither the manager is the first subject, nor the employees are the second subject. Now, we have used were according to the nearest subject, which is employees. Okay, were aware of the upcoming changes in the company policy. The committee's decision neither surprises nor disappoints me. Now, as I told you that the verb depends on the nearest subject. Now, if you see the third sentence, here you can see the verbs are surprises and disappoints. These two are the verbs, whereas the subject is the decision which is made by the committee. Okay, so the decision is singular and we have used both the verbs in singular form just because of the nearest subject, which is decision. Okay, so decision is the subject, whereas surprises and disappoints are the verbs which are used in singular form according to the subject decision. Now, the next sentence is either John or his siblings are responsible for for cleaning the kitchen tonight. Now, here siblings are the plural, which are followed by the are, which is plural verb. We can either meet at noon or after work for the project discussion. Now, the verb is meet, okay, and we can either meet at noon or after work. Now, these are the time durations, okay. So these are the adverbs, okay, which are in the options of at noon or after work. So we is the subject, which is followed by meet, which is the plural verb. Not only the students, but also the teacher was excited about the field trip. Now here you can see the first subject is the students, which we have used with the not only figure, and but also we have used the teacher. The teacher is singular, that is why we have used was, because the verb depends on the nearest subject, which is the teacher over here. Okay, so this is the rule whenever we have subjects connected with the conjunctions, pair conjunctions like either or, neither nor, or not only but also, the verb should follow the nearest subject, or the verb should agree with the nearest subject, not follow but agree with the nearest subject. Okay, so this is very, very important concept which we should keep in mind, and many times the error occur from this section of English grammar. Now let us move to the next one. Here, collective nouns rule. Now let us see the collective nouns rule. Collective nouns can take either a singular or plural verb, depending on whether the emphasis is on the group or whole, group as a whole, or the individual members. Now, what happens when we talk about collective nouns? When we talk about a collective noun, it is always considered singular as well as neutral gender. Okay, so collective noun is always followed by singular form of verb because it is always considered singular. But when we use collective noun in distributed form means when the collection does not show the collection itself. Okay, when we have the collective noun word, but it is not used for the entire team or for the entire group. But in that sentence, we are talking about the contents of it or the members of it. Okay, or the individual members of it. Then, in case that is scattered or distributed, thus we use plural verb with it. Now, let us discuss with some examples. Okay, with the help of some examples. Here, if you see the first sentence, the team is playing well. Now, here, if I talk about the team, it means I'm talking about the entire team, that the entire team is playing well. Okay, emphasis on the team as a single unit. But if I say the team are arguing, now, if I am saying the team are arguing, obviously the team is not arguing with another team, but the team is arguing within itself. It means the members of the players of the team are arguing with one another. So here, emphasis on individual team members or team players. Okay. The jury have different opinions on the case. Now, suppose jury is the group of judges. Okay, now suppose there are 6 judges and they are different. They are different in their opinions. It means 6 judges and they are framing different opinions. They don't have a singular opinion with them. Okay, in that case, they are plural, and plural emphasizing the individual opinions of jury members. The jury have been debating for hours without reaching a decision. So here, the jury, they are not making the decision unanimously, and they have been debating for hours. It means there is a chaos in between them. There is a decision making. There is an argument. There is an argument between them. It means between the judges of the jury, because they are not reaching at a decision. The team is practicing for the tournament. Now the entire team is collectively working. The committee makes decision based on consensus. The flock of birds is migrating south for winter. Okay, south for the winter. So here the flock of birds, it means the entire flock of birds migrate. Okay, so here when we talk about the collective nouns which have used as the single entity, as the group, we have used singular verb with it, but when they have been used in the distributed form, we will use plural verb with it. Now, the same thing we have already discussed in the noun chapter as well. Okay, where we discuss the concept of collective nouns. Okay, now let us move to the next one. The next concept is concept number 6, in which this is an indefinite pronoun rule. Now, what is indefinite pronoun rule? Basically, when we talk about indefinite pronouns, they are actually the pronouns which are like if I add every with the word one, so it will become everyone. Okay. Now, everyone is always singular, and this is indefinite pronoun. Okay. So, some indefinite pronouns like everyone, everybody, nobody, someone, etc. are singular and require a singular form of verb. Okay. Now, whenever we have a word every, each, no, any, or some, if they are combined, if they are combined with, let me just write this, some, and if they are combined with one, thing, and body. Okay, if they are combined with any of these words, they will make an indefinite pronoun, thus making it singular always. Okay, for example, everyone, everything, everybody, each one, each thing, each body. However, we do not use no one, nothing, nobody, anyone, anything, anybody, someone, something, somebody. Okay, all these create the indefinite pronouns, and indefinite pronouns, they are always considered singular. Okay. So, indefinite subject, that is pronoun, plus singular verb. So, we always use singular verb with it. For example, everybody wants to succeed. So, wants is used for everybody, which is singular. Okay, everybody means every individual. Someone is knocking on the door, or knocking at the door. So, someone is knocking. Okay, so someone is singular, indefinite pronoun. So, we have used is with it. Nobody was at home when I called. Somebody has left his umbrella in the office. Everything seems to be in order here. So, seems is singular verb, which is followed by the verb everything, which is singular form of indefinite pronoun. Somebody has, nobody was. Okay, so you can see over here that with all these indefinite pronouns, which are singular, we have used singular form of verb. Okay, I hope this much is clear to you all. Now, let us proceed. Here is concept number 7. This concept is again very, very important. In this as well, we will read indefinite pronouns, but these indefinite pronouns are some, all, none rule. Okay, now some, all, none. These pronouns can take singular or plural verb based on noun. Suppose we have a word some. Now, some can be used with countable nouns as well as uncountable nouns. We know well that nouns can be classified into two, that is countable or uncountable. Countable means which can be counted in terms of 1, 2, and 3. Uncountable, which can be measured but not counted in terms of 1, 2, 3. Okay, so some can be used with countable as well as uncountable nouns. When the nouns are countable, we use plural noun and plural verb, because the noun is countable, so we will use this noun in plural form. Okay, because some means more than one. But if we talk about uncountable nouns are always considered singular. Okay, thus they will be followed by singular form of verb. Okay, because these nouns are uncountable. So when some is used with uncountable nouns, it means a little of something. So the noun will be singular and the verb will be singular. But if the word some is used with countable noun, obviously some refers to more than one of something, and in that case, the plural noun and plural verb will follow them. Okay, or follow the word. For example, if the word is some or all, any of these, if they are used with countable plural nouns, if they are used with countable noun, the noun should be plural and the verb will be plural. But if some or all will be used with uncountable nouns, these are always considered singular and they will be followed by singular form of verb. Okay, now let us take some examples. Some milk has been spoiled. Now here you can see some milk. Milk is uncountable, that is why we have used has. Some students were absent from yesterday's lecture. Some money was found under the couch. Okay, money is uncountable and we have used was. All the information was included in the report. All students were excited about the field trip. All that glitters is not gold. Okay, so all that glitters is not gold is used with the word all. Okay, so this is how we should use these words. Okay, now let us move to the next. Here, concept number 8, titles and names rule. Singular titles or names take a singular form of verb because we know very well that if the subject is singular, we should use singular form of verb with it. Okay, so if there are singular titles or names, obviously they will be singular, and if they are singular, it should be followed by singular form of verb. The president has arrived. Now the president is the singular subject, so we have used has arrived. Dr. Smith has a lot of experience in this field. So Dr. Smith is one person. That is why we have used has, because this is the singular subject as singular verb. Captain Jones leads the team with determination. So Captain Jones is one person, and if there is one person, it should be followed by singular form of verb. Mr. Johnson owns the bookstore on the main street. Professor Roberts teaches biology at the university. So all these titles and names, because they are singular, they will be followed by singular form of verb. Now, if I say Dr. Smith and Captain Jones have a lot of experience. So now here I'm using both the persons together with the help of and. Obviously, I will use plural verb with it. Okay. Now let us move to the next concept. Expressions of quantity rule. Expressions of quantity: a few, both, many, a lot, majority of, both of, few of. So these are expressions of quantity. It means they are used for to show the quantity. For example, if I talk about a few is used for some. Both is used for two people. Many for more than one of anything. A lot, majority means a larger part of something. Okay. Both of, a few of, so they always represent the quantity of the people. Okay. And they are always plural. They are followed by a plural verb. So if we have these expressions of quantity, we will use plural noun and plural verb with it. Now, all these are the adjectives. That is why they should be followed by plural nouns only. A majority of the students are attending the event. Suppose there are 50 students, okay, in the class, and a majority of them can be a larger part of it. It means more than 20. Okay. So when we talk about a majority of them, it means a larger part of these. A few of the students are late to class today. So a few of students means some students, okay, are late to class today. Both of my sisters like to swim. Many of the books were damaged in the flood. A lot of people have visited the museum this month. So here you can see the word many, a lot of, or with all these adjectives, we have used plural nouns and plural verb with them. Okay. So with all these expressions of quantity, we should use plural noun and plural verb. A few means some. Okay. A lot of means many. Many, of course, many, which are more than one or two, they are many. Okay. Now let us move to the next one. Now this is concept number 10, subjects connected with conjunction. When two nouns are joined by phrases such as well as, in addition to, besides, like, unlike, with, among, along with, together with, accompanied by, led by, headed by, guided by, controlled by, governed by, etc. The verb should be used according to the first subject. Now this rule is very, very important. Okay. What is actually the meaning of this rule? Suppose we have two subjects, that is subject 1 and subject 2. Now, if I join these two subjects, okay, if I join these two subjects with, now we have already done a rule in which we join two subjects with and, or either or neither, not, those were pair conjunctions. But here, we'll join these two subjects with any of these conjunctions which you can see over here. Two nouns are joined by phrases, or two subjects are joined, not only nouns but the subjects. Okay. If they are joined by, as well as, in addition to, besides, like, unlike, with, among, along with, together with, accompanied by, led by, hearted by, guided by, controlled by, governed by, regulated by, and there are many more conjunctions or phrases. Okay. If I join these two subjects with any of these, and we can also have many other words like or phrases like and, not. Okay. And if I add no less than, okay, so there can be various conjunctions. But apart from and the pair conjunctions, okay. So if I join two subjects with any of these conjunctions, the verb, it should always follow or it should always agree with the first subject. Now, strictly with the first subject. The verb should be used according to the first subject. This is very, very important. The verb should be used according to the first subject. It is totally irrelevant whether the subject two is plural or singular. The thing that matters is the first subject, whether it is singular or plural, because the verb should always be used with the according to the first subject. Okay. For examples, the teacher as well as the students is excited about the field trip. Now, in the sentence, you may see the teacher as well as the students. Now, teacher is singular and the students are plural. We have joined these two people with as well as. Okay. Now, here the verb should follow the first subject and the first subject is teacher. That is why we have used is, not the students or not the are according to the students. We have used is according to the first subject, that is the teacher. Okay. In addition to her sisters, Suzanne is going to the party. Now here, if we talk about in addition to, after in addition to, we have the subject to, and Suzanne is the first subject accordingly. That is why we have used is. Okay. It means which is after the phrase, we will not assume it, but which is before the phrase, we will assume it or we will consider it to put the verb. Besides the books, the table in the library needs repair. Okay, it means books, they also need the repairment they also needs to be repaired. But here the table in the library needs repair. Like his brothers, Kamal enjoys playing guitar. Okay, enjoys playing the guitar. So Kamal, like his brothers, enjoys playing the guitar. Okay, now here the first subject refers to, which is actually before this conjunction which is given to us. Okay, so this is very, very important concept. Now, if I have a sentence, the teachers along with Seema has gone to the principal's office. Now, is this sentence correct? No, the sentence is incorrect. Why, sir? Here, the teachers are plural. That is why has should be replaced with have. Okay, so you should think this in your mind. Now, let us move to the next one. These are some more sentences of the same rule which we have discussed. Unlike her siblings, Emily prefers reading over watching TV. So what Emily prefers? Now we have used the word unlike, but here we'll use the verb according to Emily. This is not the second subject. Actually, this is the first subject, but the position has been written over here. You can say that where we have these conjunction phrases, after this we have subject something, okay, and the subject which is before it or not in this clause, the verb should follow that. Okay. Jay, along with his friends, has organized the event. Now, Jay is not after the phrase. That is why we have used singular verb with it. The president, accompanied by her advisors, will visit to the factory. The team, led by its captain, has won the championship. So the team is singular. Led by its captain has won. So has is used according to the team, which is singular because team is the collective noun. The committee, guided by its principles, makes important decisions. So the first subject is the committee. Okay. The company controlled by a board of directors, but here we are talking about the company, which is singular subject. Here we are using is expanding rapidly. Now also these words which are just after it, they are either the attributes or the participes of the sentence. That is why we use the verb according to the subject. Okay. The country, governed by its constitution, promotes democracy. I, no less than you, am to be blamed for this loss. Now, am is used according to I, because with I we can use am, not are, or not is. Okay. So according to this rule, the verb should agree with the first subject or the subject which is not after the conjunction phrase. Okay. Also, the conjunction phrase, it adds something extra or some information to the subject of the sentence. That is why we consider the subject but not the conjunction phrase subject, because that is actually the attribute of the subject. Okay. Now let us move to the next one. Here is concept number 11. There is many. So use of many. We have already discussed that with many we use plural noun, plural verb. Okay, with the word many, if it comes alone, many is indefinite adjective. After this, we have plural noun and plural verb. This we have already considered in the case of indefinite pronouns. Okay, or the quantity expressions. But whenever many is followed by a or n, okay, when many is followed by a or n, it requires singular noun and singular form of the verb. Now, many is an adjective. It should be followed by a noun, and that noun should be plural in case of many. But if many is followed by any article like a or n, only these two articles, indefinite articles, a or n, it will create the form of every. That is why we use singular noun and singular verb with it. Okay. For example, many a student has struggled with calculus. Now, many a student is many a stands for singular subject. Student, singular noun, has struggled with calculus. Okay. Many a person has tried to climb Mount Everest. Now, many a refers to that there are many people or every person, or you can say many a means out of those many, a few of them, or we have used this many are in case of or to represent that there are single people in different time zones, okay, or at different times. Many a car has passed through this intersection. Many a child has dreamt of becoming an astronaut. Many an apple has fallen from that tree. Okay, so whenever we use a or n after the word many, it should be followed by singular noun and singular form of verb. This is again very, very important. Okay. Now, if I say many men along with a few friend of mine, along with a few friend of mine, have gone to visit this temple. Suppose this is the sentence. Is the sentence correct? Do you think that the sentence is correct? Why so? Just tell me. Now, the sentence is incorrect. Why so? Because whenever we have the phrase along with, we follow the verb according to the first subject, which is many a men, and many a men means singular noun. Okay, so we will use singular verb with it. That is why have should be replaced with has. Okay, now have you got the concept? When we use along with, we know well that the verb is used according to the first subject. And when we see the first subject, that is many a men, which is singular, that is why we are using singular verb here, not have. So this have should be replaced with has. Okay, so this is a few friends of mine. Okay, so this is actually the sentence in which two rules have been combined. One, the rule is of along with phrase, and other one is many a concept. Okay, so this is how we should see the sentences to use the verb with it. Okay, now let us move to the next one. Now, another concept is more than rule. Okay, now what is more than rule? When we use this phrase more than in our sentence, now we can have two situations. Either the use of more than one or more than two. Now, whenever we have more than one, it will be followed by singular noun and singular verb because we are talking about one noun. Okay. But when we talk about more than two, now if it is more than one, then it can be any, either two, three, 400, or so on. Okay. So when we talk about more than two, it should be followed by plural noun and plural verb. More than one student is absent today. So more than one student. So one is used for a student, and that is why we are using is. Okay. Now, of course, if I say more than one pen is allowed or more than one pens are allowed. No, more than one pen is allowed because we are talking about one pen, and more than this one pen, more than we can use. Okay, so more than one pen is in this manner. We use singular noun and singular verb with it. More than one car is parked in the driveway. More than two students are absent today. More than two cars are parked in the driveway. Okay, so we can use more than and more than two, but more than one, after more than one, we can only have singular noun and singular verb. Whereas with more than two, more than three, more than four, more than five, and so on up to more than anything. Okay, so in that case, we use plural noun and plural verb. Okay, so this is how we use this rule more than one and more than two. The use of more than can affect the agreement of nouns and verbs based on whether it is followed by one or two. Okay. Now let us move to the next one. I hope this much is clear to you all. Now, these were the rules of subject-verb agreement that we have already discussed. I hope all these rules are covered, and you may have an idea about all these rules now. Now you can easily use these rules in your sentences, and the verb that you will use after these subjects, they will be agree with the subject. Okay, now I hope you have understood the entire concept of subject verb agreement rules. Okay, now here we'll discuss conjugation of verb to be. Now till here we have already learned all the concepts of or rules of subject verb agreement. Now we'll revise them once again, and then the conjugation of be we will discuss in the next part of it. Okay, so let us see all the rules of subject verb agreement once again. Here, the first rule is singular subject plus singular verb, plural subject plus plural verb. Okay, the next rule was singular subject plus singular verb. Then the rule was plural subject plus plural verb. Then subject 1 and subject 2, when we join two subjects together with the help of and, it should be followed by plural form of verb. But in case of pair of words, we can use singular verb. Then, when in case of either or, neither nor, not only but also, the verb should agree with the nearest subject. And the collective nouns, they can be followed by either singular verb, but if they are used in distributed or scattered form, they will be used with plural verb. Indefinite subject pronoun, they will be followed by or they will be used with singular verb, or the singular verb will be used with them. Some and all, if they are followed by countable plural noun, they will be followed by plural verb. And if some and all they are used with uncountable nouns, they will be used with singular verb, because uncountable nouns are always considered singular. Singular subject plus singular verb. A few, both, many, a lot of, a majority of, or both of, few of, will use plural noun and plural verb with them. Okay, and after that, many, or n, singular noun, singular verb. More than one, singular noun, singular verb. More than two, plural noun, plural verb. So these were the rules of subject verb agreement, which we have discussed till now. Now the conjugation of to be that we were to discuss, that we will discuss in the next session of the same chapter. Okay, so till then, if you want to learn more concepts, stay connected with me. Till then, thanks to you.